Hello everyone, I'm Blessing John from Microsoft Purview's data policy team. Microsoft Purview allows data consumers to search metadata of data assets that have been registered and scanned. Now we also allow data consumers to request access to these data sets. Purview auto-fulfills data access requests on Azure SQL and Azure Storage. I'll be walking you through how users can use self-service policy capability to access tables or views within Azure SQL Database. Prerequisites for enabling self-service policy for Azure SQL. Refer to the data owner policies for Azure SQL Database. This contains the prerequisites for both self-service policies as well as data owner policies. At the start of the document, you would see the regions that are currently supported. Secondly, all Azure SQL Database requires an Azure Active Directory admin. Thirdly, it requires the MSI to be enabled. And finally, you need to run the PowerShell script that is given over here. You need to replace some of the contents in here, such as tenant ID, subscription ID, resource group name, and server name. Once this is done, you can run the PowerShell script either from your PC or you could run it using the Cloud Shell. After the PowerShell script has been executed, ensure that Microsoft Purview is registered as a resource provider in the subscription that hosts the data source. Additionally, the user trying to register the data source for data use management must also be an IAM owner or a IAM contributor and user access administrator. The final step is to register the data source for data use management. You can follow the link Register and Scan Azure SQL DB in order to register the data source for data use management. Now that I've registered my Azure SQL Database for data use management, I will be able to create policies against this database. All I need to make sure is that I've got a workflow assigned to the collection. I've got a workflow created and I've assigned it to the root collection. Now over to the end user. I've now logged in as the data consumer and I'm going to request access to the sales order details table. As you can see, I'm getting few tables that have similar data inside it. I've found out the table called sales order details. I'm going to request access to that data. I can click send and the request is received by the approver. Now over to the approver who is able to approve the request. The data consumer's request to access the data has now been received by the approver, who could also be the data owner. The approver will now be able to approve this request, and a self-service policy gets created. This self-service policy allows the data consumer to open up the table from within SSMS or Azure Data Studio. The data consumer gets notified that they will be able to access the database table, and hence they will be able to connect using SSMS. While connecting using SSMS, ensure the connection properties have been updated to hold the database name. This is part of the options button. Click connect. The data consumer is only granted access to the table to which they had requested access. They will not be able to see anything else. Here, the data consumer is executing a select query and is able to see the result set. Hope you would enjoy using this capability. Look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you.